Welcome to this Yoga for Beginners practice, in which we are going to break down the 5 ways you can move through a vinyasa. My name is Eckstrom, co-founder of Inner Dimension, an online streaming platform that has all of my full yoga programs, series, and single classes. There you'll find more than 1,000 classes, not just with me, but with other incredible instructors. And when you join, your first 10 days are free. Follow the link below to start your free trial, and please be sure to click that YouTube subscribe button. This is one of the ways that we can keep providing yoga and meditation for free across the planet. Let's begin standing at the top of the mat. Many people starting in their yoga journey don't realize that there are more than one way to move through a vinyasa. So we're gonna give you 5 different options today. But I wanna start by reminding you, first and foremost, vinyasas are always optional. You can always just step back to downward facing dog as you build strength, if your shoulders or your wrists need a break, or you're just having a day where you want to turn a strong power yoga practice into something that's a little bit more gentle. So always keep in mind that there's a place for you in every single practice. So let's start at the top. Oftentimes our vinyasas take place from moving from the top of the mat toward the back of the mat as we make that transition back into downward facing dog. Vinyasas are the way that we create flow in a Vinyasa Flow or power yoga practice. So starting at the top of the mat, your feet could be sitting bone distance or hip distance. Inhale, circle the arms to the sky. Exhale, fold forward and dive. On an inhale, glance out, lengthen your spine and your back. As you exhale, bend your knees, plant your hands flat, step back to the top of a push-up, and then right away, drop your knees down into tabletop pose. This is Vinyasa number 1. On an inhale, you'll move through a cow-cat. Drop the belly, lift the heart. Exhale, round the spine, tuck the tail, and hang the head. Then on the inhale, as you lift the heart, tuck the toes and shift back into your downward facing dog. So this is option number 1. This option is often used when people are in a prenatal state, but it's often also used when people are nursing an injury or just needing to modify their practice. So Vinyasa number 1 is taking a cat-cow and then stepping back to downward facing dog. Take an inhale, press back. As you exhale, step your feet up to the top of the mat. Chest out, inhale for a flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Circle the arms to the sky. Inhale as you reach the arms overhead. And then exhale, dive right back down as we move on to option number 2. Hands to shins, inhale, lengthen the spine and the back. Exhale, bend the knees, plant the hands, step back to the top of a push-up, and then drop the knees down behind the hips for a modified version of upper push-up plank pose. Take an inhale in your modified plank. Then exhale, bend the elbows point back, so the outer arms wrap back, the eye of the elbow spins ahead, and you lower slowly all the way down onto the mat without collapse. From here, with your wrists underneath your elbows and your hands by your low ribs, inhale to cobra. So you roll the chest up and off the floor, you hug the elbows in, and then you can float the hands off the floor, and you notice that you're using the upper back muscles and not the strength of the arms or the hands to create the back bend. Take an inhale in cobra. Exhale, lower the heart, chest, and chin to the floor. Press back into your modified plank, then tuck the toes, lift the hips, and shift back to downward facing dog. That's option number 2, modified plank to cobra. Let's move on to number 3. Inhale, press back. Exhale, bend the knees, look forward, step the feet up to the top of the mat. Chest out, inhale as you elongate. Exhale and forward fold. To the sky, inhale as you circle and rise to stand. Exhale, dive right back down and fold over strong legs. Lengthen the spine on an inhale. Exhale, plant the hands, and then this time step back to plank pose, the top of a push-up. Your heels are driving back, your heart is reaching forward, your gaze is slightly beyond the tips of your fingers. On your inhale, you're gonna shift forward onto your toes, begin to bend the elbows, and then slowly lower as one unit all the way down onto the floor. Release the tops of the feet flat. Now, if you notice that you can't lower slowly down onto the floor without collapsing, then you're gonna stay with option number 2 as you build upper body strength and you build appropriate alignment so that you don't damage your shoulders or your wrists. These things take time. From here, inhale back to cobra just like you practiced a moment ago. Then exhale, heart, chest, and chin to the floor. Tuck the toes, planting down into the hands, tuck the sitting bones back, press to plank, and then shift back to downward facing dog. There's your third variation, and you can see we're just scaling slowly. So if you're a beginner in your practice, you're still building this strength. You're building this muscle body awareness. Give yourself time. Inhale, press back. Exhale, bend the knees, look forward. Step the feet up to the top of the mat. Glance out, inhale, find your flat back. Exhale, fold. Rise to the sky, inhale, circle and sweep to stand. Exhale, dive right back down. We're gonna keep building. Flat back on an inhale. Exhale, plant your hands. Step back to the top of a push-up. Take an inhale and plank. Shift forward. Exhale to chaturanga. So you're gonna hover here in that middle place. Then press your toes back. Roll over the tops of your feet and come into upward facing dog instead of cobra. Tops of the thighs lift, knees lift, shoulders roll back as you drive your arms straight and you press the floor away. Take an inhale here. Then exhale, roll over your toes and shift back to downward facing dog. Now, one of the things we want to try to avoid, people often move from chaturanga and then they go 1 foot, 2 foot into upward facing dog. And that motion over time can create a little bit of a repetitive motion injury in the low back. So practice rolling over those toes. All right, let's cap it off with this final variation. Inhale, press back. Exhale, look forward. Step the feet to the top of the mat. Flat back, inhale, make some space. Exhale, fold back in on yourself, get out of your head. Inhale, circle the arms to the sky and rise. Exhale, fold all the way back down. Chest out, inhale. Then this time, as you exhale, plant your hands, look forward, and we're gonna jump back to chaturanga with elbows bent. So we land in chaturanga. Then inhale into upward facing dog. And if you wanted to add on, you could roll back over the toes, come to chaturanga, add in a push-up to plank, and then press to downward facing dog if you really wanted to go all out for it. Take an inhale here. Exhale, lower the knees down onto the ground. So what I want to remind you is that these things take time and they take tremendous practice. Growth is not a linear line. It's something that is gonna kind of go forward and backwards. It's gonna be all over the map. So scale over time. I know for myself, when I was starting my yoga practice, I might have modified for the first half of class, and then the rest of class, I was doing a full vinyasa or vice versa. So give yourself time, build, because if you start building bad habits, that's how we get injured in our practice. So if you go slow, you start to lower from plank to chaturanga without collapse, you're gonna have a practice that lasts you a lifetime, a practice that is sustainable. Thank you so much, and I look forward to hearing how this was for you and what you learned today. I'll see you next time. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. I hope you enjoyed this Yoga for Beginners practice, learning about these 5 different ways that you can break down the vinyasa. If you enjoyed this practice, leave a comment. Let me know how it was for you. Let me know what you'd like more of. And if you want to experience a full beginners program, visit me over at Inner Dimension by following the link below, where you can find my Yoga for Beginners series. Thank you so much for practicing with me, and I look forward to seeing you next time.